Hey guys, let's go over quiz number 7, November 18th, 2020. Directions for each graph. Answer the following questions based on the scenario. For an algebra class, all students take a Unit 5 test. Their scores and the amount of hours they study are contained in the graph below. Each letter represents a student. A. Which data set is labeled on the x-axis? X-axis is here, so that would be time spent studying. B. Which data set is labeled on the y-axis? Well, this is the y-axis, so that would be score on the test, which would be that choice. What type of correlation is illustrated? Remember, you're going from left to right, so it looks like that would be like the best fit of line, so it would be this one right there. D. Which student or students scored the highest? So there, it could be more than one. So the highest score would be here at 100, which would be both H and J. E. Which student scored the lowest? So there it is. That would be student B. And then for the students that studied 0, what were their individual scores who studied 0? So this is 0, and anything on there, so I have 80, 60, and 50. 80, 60, and 50. So these three choices. Okay, let's go on to question number 2. Directions. For the graph, identify the key parts that create an equation for the given trend line in the slope-intercept form. Remember, the trend line, that's just another way of saying best line of best fit. Line of best fit, or we've been using the abbreviation in class, the least squares regression line. Okay? So the graph represents the total amount of hours worked and money earned for 11 workers. Each letter represents a worker. The orange line represents the trend line that best fits the data. What is the slope of hours? Okay, so to figure out slope, you can do a couple things here. You could make a table of values, right? And then each person, A, B, C, D, you could do that. That's one way of doing the problem. On the line itself, you could just pick 2 points that are close to it. So, for example, I might say something like here and here. Okay, so I have a rise, that's slope, right? Rise of 10, and then a run of 1. So 10 over 1 is my slope. So that would be my slope, 10. What is the y-intercept? Well, this is the y-axis, and where it cross right there at 0. Okay. What is the slope-intercept equation? So again, that is y equals mx plus b, and we just said our slope is 10, so that's going to be 10, and then our y-intercept is the b value, so you have 0 there. So you can have y equals 10x plus 0, or y equals 10x would be acceptable, either of those two. Okay. D. Based on the average rate of pay for all workers, after 3 hours, how much would you expect to make? So money earned on the graph is the y, and hours worked, that would be your x value. So x equals 3 here. So I'm just going to use the equation we just wrote, y equals 10x, and just simply put in x equals 3 here, and I get y equals 10 times 3, which gives me y equals 30 is my answer. How much money would they make? $30. Alright, next question. Person H, that is this one right here, and person I both made the same amount but for different hours. Which statement is true? So here are all of my true ones here. So H made $35 and did that in 3 hours. And the other person, I, made $35 but did that in 4 hours. Okay. Person H makes more money per an hour. False, because they both made same amount. Person I makes more money per an hour. So again, they're telling you, let me backtrack on that one. So yeah, this one would be money per an hour. Should did it this way. And so, you know, that person's probably going to make what? 1 goes into 3, 3 goes into 1, 2, 0, $11.60 an hour. And then this person is making 32. I'm just doing division. I don't have a calculator in front of me. So 832, 30, 870. So which statement is true? So that's singular. H makes more money per an hour. Yes. I makes more money per an hour. No. Person H works harder. I think they both work hard. Both workers make the same amount per an hour. And my answer would be for E here. This one, right? Whoops. That's supposed to be highlighter. F. Which of the following people worked the most hours overall? Okay, so then I'm just going to write down. Person H worked 3 hours, so I'm looking at the x-axis. I worked 4 hours. Person K worked 5 hours. And person A worked 1 hour. So which person worked the most overall hours? That would be person K. Is the correct answer. Okay, let's try number 3. Determine the correlation for each situation. Choose positive, negative, or no correlation for each. Okay, so I'm going to the weight of the bag, weight of baggage. So like, you know, you go onto an airplane thinking 0 and 100 pounds. Someone carries, and the speed at which they can move, miles per an hour. So I just put 0 and 100. Okay, so I'm thinking to myself in this problem, let's say I'm at the airport and I have a very heavy bag. Can I run, sorry, this way. I have a heavy bag and I can probably move very slowly. But if I have no bags, I can probably go 100 miles per hour. Something like that, right? So I think we have here a negative. Does that make sense? My trend line is negative going down like that. Number 4. The graph below shows the ages of employees in a company and the average salaries for that age. Okay. Based on the graph, indicate whether each of the 3 statements below is true or false. Okay, so, well, first of all, it says 3, but there's only 2, so that's fine. There is a fairly strong correlation between age and salary. So if I draw a line, is that pretty strong? I would say the answer here is true. Okay, the data shows that that salaries are higher. So as this is going up, are for only older employees. Yeah, so someone who is age 60, they're getting a salary that's like 80,000, and the young one, you know, if you're only 25, low on age, and you have low on wage, right? So that is also true. Number 5, directions. Choose the best response. Okay. The baseball coach graphs some data and finds the line of best fit. The equation for the line of best fit is y equals 0.32x minus 20.51. X represents the number of times at bats, and Y is the number of hits. So how many hits is the question, right? And that means Y equals. So hits is Y. So what is Y? If we expect from a player who is at bat 75 times. So bats, or goes up to hit the ball, is X. So X equals 175. So here I'm putting here 175. And I get Y equals 0.32 times 175 minus 20.51. And if you put that in your calculator, you'll get close to something like 35 hits. So A is my correct answer. Oh no. Let's go find number 6. All right, let's go over question number 6. Consider the figure. Here it is, and we have to complete the sentences. So the data has a what type of correlation? Blank correlation. It is going that direction, so this would be a positive correlation. B, this indicates that the R value must be positive or negative. Well, that also has to be positive. The data are close to forming a what? Curve or straight line? I would say a straight line. And R would have to be equal to would be the most accurate. So I'm looking for a positive number and strong, so that would be this one right there. Okay? Question number 7. The linear regression equation for a data set is y equals 1.6x minus 4.1. The actual value at x equals 3 is 0.9. What is the residual value of x equals 3? So, just give you a super fast idea. Negative 4.1 and has positive slope. So this is my regression line. Okay? But they're saying at x equals 3, it's, I don't know, maybe this is 3 and 0.9 is 0.9. So what is the residual? Is it going to be above or below? That's kind of like the idea they're talking about here, okay? So a couple of steps that we talked about previously where for you first to calculate the expected. Calculate the expected. So that would be using this equation, and I'm going to put a hat there because it's the predictor. And from the expected, right? From this prediction, we are actually getting the expected, okay? Okay, so then we're going to put in our x value of 3 here. And then I have everything that equals the same. Let's take out my handy-dandy calculator. I get 4.8 minus 4.1. So I have 0.7. Okay, then from here I'm going to calculate the residual. What is our residual? Well, you have a formula, right? The formula is the residual is equal to the AP. Actual minus the predicted. Okay, so our actual is 0.9. And the predicted is 0.7. Oops, did it again. And therefore my residual is equal to 0.2. And that would be choice B as your answer. Hopefully those corrections were helpful for you. See ya.